Good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. Today we have a beer that was sent to me by my buddy Brian. He sent me a box of 8 beers. Thank you very much, Brian. Of those 8 beers, I think 1 or 2 of them had to be reviewed, and this is either number 1 or number 2 because I don't see any others from Brian on that countertop. This is from Blackburn in Niagara Falls, which seems to be his new Homer brewery. It's a neutral ground for him and a few other people when they finish their shift, and the brewery opens just as they're getting done certain days of the week, so they can go and have a couple beers before going home, which is great. Ingredients: we have water, malted barley, hops, and Lochmund Nova Lager yeast. Okay, what the fuck is this then? Oh, this is Novafest, is what it's called, Novafest. Blackburn Brew House. Oh, okay, so this is a collaboration brew. Blackburn Brewhouse's collaboration with Lamond Brewing resulted in the creation of this refreshing fest beer we aptly named Novafest. The special brew was made using La Brew Nova Lager yeast, resulting in a beer that harmoniously marries tradition with innovation, offering beer enthusiasts a truly memorable drinking experience. Prost, Lamond Brewing. So Lamond has done a lot of Canadian collaborations in the last few years. And by a lot, I mean, I can think of like 5. So it's great when stuff like that happens. Where was the ABV? I saw the ABV on here, and now I have lost it. I saw it before I got going. Oh, it's right there. It's right there. So we're looking at 17 IBU and 5% ABV. So 17 IBU sounds a little high for a fest beer, but not at the same time. I mean, I suppose 10 to 20 would be your normal go around with that. I don't know why my daughter is the smallest creature in this house. She's even smaller than the puppy. And she walks the fucking loudest of everybody in this house. It's like she's wearing cement shoes as she walks around. Like, that's her you can hear stomping around up there. I have a 140 pound, 110 pound, and a 50 pound dog up there. That's what we hear is her. Like, it boggles my mind. Okay, so okay. Lots of head. I wasn't really paying attention as I poured though, so I don't know if that was me or if that's the beer. Usually I am at least looking more at what I'm doing, so I could tell you if I was just being heavy-handed. I didn't feel like I was being heavy-handed. There is a good snap, crackle, pop to it though. It is fading nicely. I do love the very slight haze on this and the slightly bronze hue to it. I really do like that. It looks very nice. Adding a little bit more into my cuparoo. Sorry, every single time she does, I just want to go up and I want to be like, what the fuck? Like, again, she is like 37 pounds. 37 pounds. I don't even hear my dogs that much. Like, when they're playing around or they have the giant bones or anything, it sounds like they're coming through the floor, but okay, I guess it's time. Cheers. It looks great. It does. Visually, it's appealing. I can't say that I love the can artwork on this. It's not the usual Blackburn can artwork. I cannot say I love it, but does that really matter? Not really, right? Okay. Oh, we didn't smell it even yet. I don't know why I was about to. It's because I'm looking at the timer and I'm like, oh God. We gotta get drink, but no. A little bit of caramel, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of earthiness, a little bit of grassiness. Can. Caramel, earthy, grassy. Caramel, earthy, and grassy, and it's pretty close to it on there. Caramel, earthy, and grassy. I mean, maybe slightly tinny, but that's probably just the tin itself that I'm smelling. I must have poured heavy-handed because I didn't really get much head formation there. Slanche. Now, I don't know much about the Le Monde signature yeast. I don't know much about the Nova yeast. I don't know what it's supposed to impart or anything like that. But that being said, that kind of tastes like a mixture between a Fest beer slash Bock slash anything like that, and like the Fest beer Mars and all those beer varieties that kind of have the same notes. Basically tastes something like a mixture of those plus a wheat ale. Because you get that sweet caramel and coppery note up at the forefront. Yeah, that's right, coppery. You get that, you bit your tongue type of taste up at the forefront. And that fades into a earthy, grassy, dirty sensation on the back end. So almost like a mixture of a regular, almost like a mixture of German and English styles together. And then the finish has these fruity esters, kind of banana-esque, which reminds me a lot of a wheat beer. All that being said, it's very, very, very easy drinking. Like there is no problem getting through this beer. There would be no problem getting through this beer. Now, like your average Fest beer or Marzen or anything like that, and I mean sometimes there are breweries that interchange those words. I don't know if I would consider this to be like the German equivalent of an English mild or an English pub ale or an English bitter or anything like that. You know, like the English bitters, the whole gamut of them are supposed to be beers you sit down and can have a couple pints of. I have no problem with this beer. I actually think it's quite nice, and I know that Brian has begun to like this quite a bit. But that being said, I don't know if I would drink 2 or 3 or 4 pints of this in a sitting with my buddies at the pub. I don't know if I would. I don't know if it is tasty enough for me to do that, or if there's something in it that I'm just not. Because I can't say there's anything I dislike. I'm drinking it and I'm like, could I drink a few of these at a time? I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I'm sold on being able to drink a whole bunch of those. I don't think I'm sold on being able to drink a whole bunch of them. I think I'm sold on, every time I go, if I'm going to drink 3 pints every time I go with my buddies, that might be in my rotation where it's the first pint I have or the last pint. But I don't think Novafest is hitting for me what I would expect out of a fest beer. I don't think it's something that I would sit back and go, I can drink a bunch of these. I can drink one. Sure, I can. There's no problem with it. I actually like the taste of it. But there's a je ne sais quoi about it, which makes me not want to have more than one of them. Anyway, we've been looking at Novafest from Blackburn. Thank you again, Brian. Out of 10 on that. I don't know what's fair to say because, like I said, I said I could buy them every time I go, so I can't give it below a 7. So we'll go with a 7. I was going to say maybe a 6, maybe a 5 because I don't. But I did say that it is a beer that I could have in my rotation there. Blackburn does make better beers for me personally, but that's a good beer, and if it's on their tap, I could foresee myself trying it again or buying it again, and I could see myself sending that to people. Like, that's the thing, right? It's a beer that is worth trying. Excuse me. I just don't find it to be as sessionable for me as it should be for me to love it. But that doesn't mean you're not going to love it. That doesn't mean Brian's not going to love it. That doesn't mean the guys at Blackburn aren't going to love it. That doesn't mean the guys at Le Monde aren't going to love it. It doesn't really matter. As long as the beer sells, don't really matter what I think, what you think. Every one of us can have a differing opinion on the beer. As long as it's selling and the brewery's making money on it, that's all that really matters. And it's something new, and it is a good collaboration brew. They'll make money on it. And that's all that matters, right? Yeah. Bye.